Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition, or this month's edition, or this time that we can find to record edition of the Geeking Out podcast. I am the Athletic Geek, joined by
Hey, Organoid Zero. Woo!
you. So today we will be discussing wrestlers in movies, and I think it's a pretty interesting topic because while there's so many that obviously have gone on to become huge movie stars,
Mhm.
like The Rock and John Cena, Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Um, there's also been so many other wrestlers that you forget were, maybe they were bit parts or whatever, but you forget that they were in movies and they get overlooked. So while, yes, we're going to more than likely be talking about the blockbusters that
Hmm.
those three names that I just mentioned were in, I'm hoping we can also talk about some other under the radar or just ones that are like, oh yeah, that guy was in that and he was good sort of movies.
Oh
So
yeah.
I would like to start it off with probably the first wrestler in a movie that I remember, which is Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Um, he really played that role well. Like that role was perfect for him. Like I don't really know what else to say other than just giving Andre's props. Uh,
Oh, 100%. It. They. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you who else could have played it.
the
That role was made for him.
mhm. The only and speaking of roles that were made for him, it was on the set of that movie. Because Billy Crystal was in that movie as well, where Billy Crystal and Andre became friends, and Billy Crystal got the idea for that movie that he would end up releasing in the '90s called My Giant, that he wrote with Andre in mind, but unfortunately Andre passed away before the movie could really.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I did not know about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. That movie was written for Andre to star in that movie with Billy, but Andre passed away long before that movie was ever able to fully get made. But the idea was for Andre to co-star with him in that movie.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
but yeah, Andre felt like he had so many.
And too fast.
You would want to peanut. It's just so perfect,
He's
and
so
he
good.
did so well in that. And it's it's a shame that it's probably one of the last things that Andre was known for before
Hmm.
he would pass away. And that documentary, the one that turned into a Vince McMahon meme, but is actually a really good documentary on Andre's life.
Yeah.
They interviewed all the, you know, quite a few stars from that movie, and they talk about just how great Andre was to work with, but how much pain he was in during the filming of that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing where you talk with people about the conditions and shit that Andre had to do that no one really thinks about. Just like it was, guy was a lot happier than he needed to act.
Yeah, but yeah, that was my, you know, don't want to go into all the Hulk Hogan movies because you know nothing really there.
Yeah, the
I
first
mean,
the first one that I remember a wrestler being in, honestly, was Waterboy. I know he's only in it for roughly like a minute and a half, but it was Big Show as Captain Insano. That was one of the first movies that I remember a wrestler being in.
yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because the movie that I was just reminded of by watching it yesterday, there's a plethora of wrestlers in it, but I want to mention one in particular because to me, there were two instances of wrestlers being in movies that the wrestler, and maybe it's because I am a wrestling fan, but I feel like objectively their performances in there stole the show. And the first one is The Longest Yard,
Stone
the
Cold.
remake with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And
Or you mean the Great Khali?
I'm talking about Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Like, yes, he like a lot of great moments in that movie, and me, when I watch, like, oh, there's all these former football players and all these wrestlers, and I love Adam Sandler, so like it was kind of almost, and it's football, so it was like the perfect movie for me in 2005. But Kevin Nash was what I walked out of the theater remembering the most, just because of how hilarious he was in that movie. Um, for some context, it's revealed in the story. Well, first of all, go watch it. It's available
Yes,
everywhere. Watch TBS on some weekend; it'll be on.
it'll be.
Um, but uh, Adam Sandler plays a former football player who was banned from the NFL for life for
Wasn't it
throwing
betting?
a game, and
Yeah,
gambling
yeah.
uh, on football. Claims he's innocent. He gets drunk and steals his girlfriend's car and gets arrested, gets sent to prison. The prison in Texas that he is sent to, the warden also has a semi-pro football team, so like only the people that he hires to be guards are, former football players that don't get drafted, so he
Mhm.
can give them a job at the prison and they can play on his football team. Kevin Nash is supposedly on steroids, or well, not supposedly. In the movie, he's on
He's on
steroids.
steroids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and during the movie, they try to set up an exhibition game between the guards and the inmates. And the inmates sneak into the guards' locker room. They take Kevin Nash's steroid pills, which I do think it's funny that it's just a giant ball that says steroids on it.
Steroids.
Like,
No, no
because I
hiding
know
it.
that that's not that's not what it's
Not even calling it hormone or anything. Just
hormone or
steroids.
andro or testosterone, nothing, just steroids. But they take his steroids and dump those out, and they put estrogen
Estrogen.
in it. And then after they do that, there's just hilarious scenes of Kevin Nash being very emotional and feminine. One of the other players gets hurt, and he's like, are you okay? Oh, if you want to cry, it's okay.
Okay,
I will cry
I
with
with
you.
you.
Mm. It's just
Yeah,
like, of
that
all the, there's a lot of funny moments in that movie. It is a good movie, but when I walked out of the theater, I'm like, Kevin Nash on estrogen was the best part of that movie.
it was really good. It was
And
really good.
yeah, not probably not quite as memorable a moment for Kevin Nash is legitimately getting stabbed in The Punisher and just kind of no selling it, and they going, "Hey, let's just keep going."
Yeah.
But it's still pretty damn funny.
Well, I lied. The first now I'm remembering, and it's speaking of Kevin Nash, the first movie I ever saw that had a wrestler in it, and a lot of people forget that he did this. That he was
uh,
Super Shredder
yes, he
in Teenage
was.
Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
I never like, yeah, because you don't really know that's him, and
And he barely says anything either. He
barely
just
says
breaks apart
anything.
a doc.
And that movie came out before Kevin Nash was a superstar in
Yeah,
wrestling, so
he was just a
you
big
know,
dude.
yeah, works,
Yeah,
absolutely works. But
absolutely. Yeah. One that I didn't know it existed until a random Christmas when I watched Spike TV was Santa's Sleigh.
Oh God. Somebody else who was in the longest yard too, Goldberg.
Yep. Goldberg was one of my favorite parts of that. He's like, well, you could tackle him or you could hit him over the head with that hammer. I don't want to kill him.
And Goldberg
But
gets the last line of that movie.
he does. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's a week in the hot box. Who
Who
gives a
gives a
shit?
shit? I
Um,
was like, the football and wrestling fan in me is like Michael Irvin and Goldberg close the movie.
that movie is such a fudge it. That movie is a Mad Libs cast because that also
Yes.
had random rappers and other shit.
Nellie's in it, does a great job.
God, it's such a
The
fucking
football fan
wacky
like
cast.
Bill Romanowski, who's probably legitimately the most evil football player who ever played the game, is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like most about wrestlers, but like Bill Romanowski, look him up. Listen to his interviews and talk about the stuff he did on the field. He is one of the most dirty, heartless, evil people to have ever played the game of football.
Yeah,
It's and there he is, just in a movie.
yeah,
Stone Cold plays the obnoxiously racist
racist.
guard.
Yeah, they hit so hard that he shits himself on the field.
See, when I watched it last night, it was on television, so they changed it to from I think I made him shit his pants to I think he broke his freaking neck.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Even the who gives a shit gets changed to who gives a damn at the very end of the movie.
Weird.
Gotta love
Somehow
Prime.
shitting your pants is less offensive or less vulgar than
The word shit,
uh
I guess. Um,
weird.
yeah, Austin plays like but what's funny is now his like obnoxiously racist line. Okay, not the most racist line because there's some hard R in
Yeah,
words
yeah.
used
Oh yeah.
used by Stone Cold in that one, which I think unfortunately there's people that watch that and think that
That's
Stone
just
Cold
who he is.
is an actual racist, which is unfair. But it's like it's a role,
No.
you know. But he has become in the football world somewhat of a meme because there's two white running backs that have gotten really good in football, Christian McCaffrey and Cam
Yeah.
Scatabo.
That's how a white man runs a football.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like just make like reels and memes whenever they have a good game with that's how a white man runs the football.
And that's like that movie is not a Shakespearean masterpiece in its writing, but like the lines feel
Didn't
like
need to
what
be.
those people would be saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And the shout out to also the great Kali going, he was all like, oh my balls.
The collie was also perfect for that because like even in wrestling, he was not great at being other than just like hitting people and doing whatever. So having him be the guy that just had to be a fucking freakazoid, he's just like playing ping pong, and then Sandler comes and drops the other side. He just looks at him.
Yeah, we can play together. Yeah, we can play together if I put this side down, we can play together.
You know that? Oh man, that reminded me of another one that I know we're just bouncing around, but probably the biggest smorgasbord of wrestlers that do nothing. Did you see the movie MacGruber?
Yes. Which led to MacGruber being the guest host of a Raw one time.
Yeah. Okay, it was Jericho, Mark Henry,
Kane.
Kane. Was Kali in there?
I think so. And then
There
on the
was like
wrestling, he became Kaluber,
yeah,
his tag team partner.
yeah. There was like 4 or 5 people that he calls into the squad to take care of this problem, and then they all blow up in a van before they can even do anything. I saw you ripped that guy's throat out with your bare hands.
Oh,
Has Jericho been in any other movies than that?
I mean, he was in Terrifier.
Oh, I haven't seen the Terrifier vampire, so I didn't know. But that
I
okay,
didn't watch the one he was in. The guy who played Art was at a convention I was going to, so
okay.
my
Oh,
wife's a big fan. She's a horror movie fan. I am not, but I like watching because I'm like, well, I'm going to meet the guy, so I at least like to
know something.
know something about him. And it wasn't for me at all. I
Yeah,
really
very
didn't like
extreme.
it,
Very
but
extreme.
I am just kind of like, but the guy who played Art the Clown's a really cool dude. So
That's what I've heard. Apparently, Rhea has met him as well and badly wants to be in a Terrifier movie.
then I do know someone had a sign in the AEW crowd that said, "I cheered when Jericho was killed in Terrifier 3."
Oh, so he was in the most recent one. Wow. Okay.
Or 2, or
That's
whatever. I don't know. It's
that's that's funny.
but so wanna I want to talk because we brought up wrestlers stealing the show, and we're gonna get to arguably the three most.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is one of the three most popular. We're gonna get to the other two, but again, when it comes to wrestlers, I thought in at least the first two. I haven't seen the third one yet. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It was Batista.
Yeah.
And I know in one of our earlier episodes, you brought up that you feel that out of the big three that have gone Hollywood, that Dave is the best actor of the three.
Still feel that way. I don't
I
think
mean,
that opinion's ever going to change.
yeah. I mean, and I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot of Dave's work, but in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you know what I was quoting when I left, and I know I wasn't the only one. At least, especially after two,
Mhm.
um, everybody's quoting Batista lines.
Yeah.
Like
She just
David.
gave away your darkest secret. That is so embarrassing.
And then, in the Avengers, I'm invisible. I'm so stuck
Why
with it.
is Gamora?
So, yeah, he was when I think of those movies, I think of Dave Batista, and I, he's right. Never liked Batista as a wrestler.
Yep,
I
I
could
remember you
not
saying that.
stand him.
Yep.
He was just so. He wasn't even fun to like. Ironically, he was just like bad to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be damned if he isn't my favorite part of that whole series.
Mm-hmm. And in three, he's great as well. Like that movie is mostly centered around Rocket and like his past and stuff, but Dave is still phenomenal in it. Like I haven't seen a movie that had Dave in it that I didn't love the role he did. Like he's also in was that Spectre? I believe it was Spectre was a James Bond movie he's in. He plays a random muscled henchman named Mr. Hanks that gets like 20 minutes of screen time. And he hands in a better performance than The Rock has done in any movie he's ever done.
Mm.
Like it's just like I, it's so weird because like I like The Rock. I do. I know we'll get to that, but he is a lot of the syndrome of I'm doing me and 2% of something else in almost every movie I'm in.
Well, we'll
We'll get to that later. I
we'll
know.
get to that. I haven't seen as much of Dave's catalog, but like when I see that, when I see previews, like, oh, hey, here's like a psychological thriller that Batista is in. That's something that you don't see The Rock in a lot, or
No,
you don't see Cena in a
no,
lot, which, just kind of is what it is. I'm not saying either one of them are incapable of doing that. It's just
no. He's willing to stretch
Batista
his
could have
feet a
very
lot more.
easily have just followed the archetype of I am, here's a former wrestler to do action movies and be the big, be either the big goofy guy or the big, whatever, and do the action movies. But, complete and all credit to him, he decided that he wanted to do something else. And, you know, he's a better actor than he is a wrestler, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's one of the he's what I appreciate is that he didn't have a ton of acting training. Then he got the role of Drax, and he talks about in multiple interviews. And James Gunn has said it too. He's like, Dave went out of his way that where if he was not on set, he was in an acting class. Like he went and worked his ass off to get better at his craft as soon as he landed a giant role. And it's
Yeah.
like, this is my life now. I'm taking this seriously.
And harkening back to our conventions episode when I met Sean Gunn, you
Yeah.
know, first thing I asked him about was Batista. I never thought when meeting an actor I would have a conversation about one of my top 3 least favorite wrestlers of all time, but here I was having a conversation because he did such a phenomenal job
Mm-hmm.
in that role. And, that was before Batista was really taking over Hollywood. Well, I wouldn't even say he took over, but before he was really
Really
getting,
hitting it.
he was really just kind of like he'd be in some straight to DVD movies, and he was Drax,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, Sean Gunn kind of said the same thing. We worked with him. He devoted all of his time. He took it super seriously, and you know,
Yeah.
fair play to the animal, I guess.
Yeah. It's you got the spare money to be like, I can live and do what I need to do when I need to do it. I don't have to have prior commitments and stuff, and I'm out of wrestling, so that's not tying me down. And I was taking it seriously. I'd be spending every spare second I could doing it
Yeah,
too.
but that also. Oh, well, is there anybody else? Because we have our other 2. I know we're going to talk about, but is
um,
there anybody else that really is
I was
worth
gonna say
a
for
big
Stone,
mention?
the one I was going to mention, as we mentioned already, is one with Stone Cold. There was a movie that he actually really did that I liked. That was called Damage,
Hmm.
where I'm trying to remember what happened, but this person died and their daughter needed a life-saving operation, and he went into like underground fighting to to
Hmm.
get the money to save this girl. Like, it's genuinely actually pretty good, like good.
Okay.
It's not like it's slocky and stuff at certain points, but like I like, Austin, you got a little bit of good actor in you in there somewhere. I don't know if you'd ever take the commitment to really hammer down on that because you don't need to, but
And especially because now he doesn't like leaving the state of Nevada.
no, no. So, but he's done more than enough for what he needs to. Um, Man, some other ones we shouldn't do this without mentioning Roddy Piper in They
Oh
Live.
yeah, yeah. Roddy was. I think Roddy's an underrated actor. The problem with Roddy was he was never in a blockbuster.
No, he was in cult classics.
Yes, They Live, Hell Comes to Frogtown.
I forget
Yeah. um.
all about that. Oh, I am an idiot. One of my favorite wrestler turned actor performances ever was Jesse Ventura in The Predator.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to bleed. Kid, I'm a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus.
Noticed a lot of Jesse was in a lot of movies with Arnold
Yeah, he was.
because he was even in, and I didn't realize it was him until later in life. He was in Batman and Robin.
Who was he?
He was he was an Arkham guard, you know,
Really?
and he gets eventually like, the scene where they have Mr. Freeze and they have like that little cold area where he can't
Is
move
when
and he
Ivy
tries to
sets
like,
him free?
no, yeah, like he was like guarding him, it was like Freeze tries to beat up the guards and then he like walks outside the that cold area
Yeah.
and then he starts like suffocating. He's like, "Oh, Freezy, you can't live outside the cold zone."
That's Ventura. I never knew that.
Yeah,
What the hell?
it wasn't a large role, and I didn't realize it was
Still.
Jesse at first, but it was like one of those like
Huh.
begrudgingly. I went back and watched that movie again to go like,
I
"Oh, yep,
watch
yep,
that
that's
movie
Ventura."
happily as a comedy now. I don't try and watch it as a Batman movie first. I watch it as a comedy, and I laugh at it pretty hard. I actually at this beginning of November, in this month, I saw someone cosplaying that movie's Bane, and he was not the arm size, but the height size, and it was actually pretty good. Another
Boom,
boom.
boom.
Yes. Before we go off and do the other ones, one that I will say that was very recent that I actually thought was great, and it involves Sandler. Becky Lynch was actually really good
Becky
in
Lynch and
Happy Gilmore too.
MJF were very good in
Oh yeah, MJF was great in that too. I forgot MJF
the
was
real
in it.
Forbidden Door with a WWE and
Yeah,
AEW wrestler in
no shit.
a movie. Yeah, it was a good movie. It didn't.
That movie was on drugs. That's
Yes,
what I tell a lot of people. We're like, if you're watching Happy Gilmore, I'm like, all right, take the plot of that, inject a truckload of cocaine.
I kind of compare it to. It's like this is what I used to compare it to somebody I work with. I said because they're a fan of like The Office, and Parks and Recreation. I'm like, so you take The Office and it's ridiculous, but it's like kind of believable. You could believe that somebody would be that kind of crazy at an office,
Yeah,
you know. But then you watch Parks and Rec, and you're like, it's outrageous.
yeah,
No town is that on the nose crazy.
yeah. It's like,
That's kind of the differences between the first Happy Gilmore and the second one. The first one, you're like, okay, I could see a golfer coming in who's very breaks the norm, you know, kind of. I could see a golfer trying to be that way, but then you watch Happy Gilmore 2 and you're like, oh my god.
the whole rules of the freaking alternate golf league that they try and set up. That they're getting their tendons in their hips cut so that they can swing
Yeah.
farther than other people.
Yeah, there was nothing that crazy other than a guy being able to run really fast and hit their ball and have a ridiculously get a hole in one on a par 4, which I don't golf, but I know enough about golf to know that that's impossible.
Yeah, that's just not happening.
But, it's still like, okay, whatever. Like we can live with that. Feels very rooted in reality.
Yeah.
There's no roots in reality in Happy Gilmore 2.
Nope. None whatsoever. The entire time I was watching that movie, I'm just like, what are we doing? I mean, I'm laughing. But
I love it.
What the like? Every 10 minutes, I'm looking. I was with my surrogate dad and a bunch of people at their house watching. Like, what is it? Like, his wife gets killed by him in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the first like 5 minutes, I found myself going, huh?
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, both MJF and Becky Lynch are very, very good in that one.
Yeah.
It. I don't want to talk about a lot of the WWE films movies because those just kind of are what they are.
Yeah.
But
the
there
only one
are
I
ones.
Liked was The Condemned. Honestly, was one of the big that and The Marine. The first.
Yeah. Knucklehead wasn't bad. Like it's a stupid.
Oh, yeah.
It's a. You're not going to expect from any of them. You're not going to expect cinema gold, but you see that wrestlers can do a good job. Mm-hmm. Big Show being a goofy guy, okay, that's fine. Edge was in a buddy cop movie with Jamie Kennedy.
That's
was
right.
It great? No. But was it an entertaining, funny? I didn't feel like I wasted my time streaming that movie. There was a religious movie with Shawn Michaels in it, and it's like, okay, if you can get behind that sort of thing, it's not a terrible movie. And it had the guy who played Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in it too,
Oh, okay.
who essentially was Shawn Michaels. in that movie. Like he was an addict and he's sentenced to community service. And part of his community service was like helping out at a church, and they were putting on a play about the Bible.
Yeah. So it's old
And
Shawn Michaels meeting current Shawn Michaels.
yeah, and Shawn Michael and Shawn in the movie, he like plays like a guy's a mechanic now, and he went to prison and you know turned his life around. If that sort of thing doesn't just immediately turn you off, and you also know you're not going to be seeing Citizen Kane,
Yeah.
you know, it's not a terrible watch. But again, WWE films, religious movie, a lot of people aren't going to like it.
No. Did you watch shit, what was the Kane movie? The one
See no evil.
See No Evil. Did you remember the note that supposedly Vince wanted him to have like a 3 foot long dick in that movie?
I remember hearing that story.
Like, what does that? What are we doing?
It sounds very on brand for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Somebody has a 3-foot penis. That's great. Good
It
shit,
won't, it
pal.
won't, it won't matter, but you'll see it once. It'll be scary.
And that, honestly, like that wasn't a bad. I remember when that movie came out. First of all, it gave us the big May 19th meme.
Yeah.
There was also a time when a movie named Over the Hedge came out because we always use that. Me and my group of friends used to have the joke like May 19th, Over the Hedge Day.
That's funny. I didn't know they came out the
Um,
same day. That's funny.
but you know, if you're gonna do stuff like that, I'm like, okay, like if WWE's gonna do their own movies, doing a horror movie with Kane in it made sense to do.
Yeah. Especially at that time with Kane when he finally showed his face.
Yeah, it's like,
And was
okay, that's perfect.
miraculously not scarred.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just like okay. I did remember. Again, I'm not going to just hate on all of the WWE films movies because they're WWE films movies. They're popcorn flicks, and that's the nicest thing I can say about most of them.
Yeah.
But I've been more disappointed walking out of legitimate movies than some of them. You know, I did remember making the joke that, I don't want to see WWE try to make a serious movie. I want WWE films to be like the over the top, like the film starring luchadors in,
The old
you know,
telenovelas.
no, not that like El Santo stops some, like all like look, watch some El Santo movies
Yeah.
from Mexico, and it's just basically the character of El Santo is going to stop something.
Yeah.
I want to see John Cena stop being JBL the Mad Scientist in a completely goofy, over the top movie.
Yeah.
John Cena as John Cena goes and stops, JBL or Triple H or, you know, somebody, that's what I wanted with WWE films. Like when they did the Scooby Doo movie,
Yeah.
like it was fine for kids. If your kid likes wrestling, they're going to get a kick out of it. But I said, you know what would have been great? Because this was like came out like in 2012. Like I want the monster at the end to have been the Miz, Daniel Bryan, and he's persona non grata now, but John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
Like they should have been the ones self-sabotaging WrestleMania. And I want to see them getting carried away by the cops with John Laurinaitis going, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. And Daniel Bryan going, no, no, as he's being put in handcuffs. That's what I want to see from a Scooby-Doo WWE crossover.
Yeah. No, I get you. That's you don't expect the greatest things in the world, but yeah, it's you're wanting to have fun, and that's what's happening.
It's better. And also, a child that thinks WWE or wrestling is cool is going to get a kick out of seeing Scooby Doo and John Cena and The Undertaker together. So it's not cinema gold, but it just is. It's not even cinema copper,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff.
Cinema aluminum. So might as well just get into it because, well, first, going from WWE films, we got to talk about Cena.
We do.
And I remember when the Marine came out, which I did not like the Marine. Like, again, I can look at it, I see it for what it is. I'm not going to put my nose in the air and I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say, like, I just didn't enjoy that movie. I couldn't even in its bubble really get into it that much. But I remember at the time there was a video of, I used to watch or listen to WrestleCrap Radio a lot. That was like my first wrestling podcast, was WrestleCrap Radio, and they did a watch along with, I can't even remember what it was, like an episode of Raw maybe, and they had the first Marine trailer. Then somebody synced their commentary up with the actual Marine trailer, and Blade Braxton, rest in peace, made a joke like, this is like, what we're witnessing now is the equivalent of the Big Bang because this is the beginning of John Cena taking over Hollywood. And at the time, I'm kind of like, yeah, sure. He'll be in some movies, but he's not taking over no Hollywood. And then now I'm like, okay, he's not taking over Hollywood, but Blade had a point.
Yeah.
Blade was correct because it's coming. It's coming.
Uh, yeah, he's done good. Loved him in that. Trainwreck he was really good in. He has one of my
Yes.
favorite moments in a movie. I don't know if you're a Transformers person, but he was in he was a military officer in Bumblebee, and he has the line that I've been waiting for everybody to say in one of these freaking movies where the humans were involved, where they're sitting there in the office and they're like being briefed, and these two Decepticons are looking for Bumblebee, and they're going after. He's like, I don't know if we could trust these guys. Like, what? He's like, what's going on? He's like, they're called Decepticons. Does this not bother anyone? Like anybody at all?
I mean, yeah.
He's hunting him down for the whole thing, and he's like the first person that has like a lapse of like insanity where he's like, what are we doing? Wow, they've shown us nothing. Why are we following them? He had a mixed bag of stuff. Like there was that he was in some like stuff like the Fred movies. Um, man, that was an encapsulation of time. I liked him in Daddy's Home, the little bit that he's in it, and then in the sequel, he was really good in those. Uh, I didn't see who he was in Sisters, but I saw a scene of him as the drug dealer in Sisters, which is really
Yes.
good. Like him in as Peacemaker is probably one of the best things he's ever done.
Oh yeah. And Peacemaker's become, he's elevated a very minor at best comic book character to iconic status. So,
Yeah.
you know, do, 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 do.
Yeah, and now that he's on like damn near the last stretch of him never touching a ring again, he's one of the few people that I like legitimately believe when they say that they're not going to be in a ring again. He's never
Yeah.
touching a ring again, like
Yeah,
ever.
I believe it.
Yeah, so yeah, he's going to be really hammering hard on everything that he does. So
And it's, I don't think he's, well, let me rephrase that. He's not done anything to this point to where him winning an Academy Award is on my bingo card, but you never know.
yeah,
I mean, Matthew McConaughey eventually won an Academy Award. and I don't hate Matthew McConaughey, but he's somebody else where I'd be like, all right, he's not gonna. He, that's not the what who you think of when you think great actor. He's gonna kill
No,
it, and
there's
then
a
eventually he just had that role where you're like, he earned it, he deserved
yeah.
it.
I can't remember what it was, but I watched an interview with him where there was a certain where he was known as the rom com guy, and then after a while he just realized that he was stuck in this, and there was some rom com that they were offering him, and it got up to $10 million to do this movie, and he kept saying no. Like he's like, I'm not doing this. He's kept rejecting work of the same shit. And then eventually, that's like when Dallas Buyers Club got offered to him, and a bunch of other stuff. Are like, no, he's serious about wanting to do other stuff. And then that's when all the other things came in. So it's
You know, so
you're
so
choosing when you want to do it.
while I don't think I'll put any money on John Cena ever winning an Oscar, but I'm also not going to say that he's never going to win an Oscar.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to, gun to my head, it's going to save my family. Any one of those three that's going to win an Oscar, it's going to be Dave.
Yes,
It's going to be Dave. It may be for a supporting act, it may be for something, but he's got the best
but
shot.
that's also because Dave has, at this point, shown that he can go out and do other roles. And while there has been range with The Rock, there has been some range with Cena, it's still kind of in general, it's either the same type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, The Rock did, Gridiron Gang is kind of out of the norm a little
A
bit,
little bit.
Out of just being, I'm going to be funny, I'm going to be an action hero. Gridiron Gang, okay. But, yeah.
Yeah. Good Iron Gang is probably my second favorite movie The Rock's been in.
What's number one? We'll just start talking about Rock now.
Walking Tall.
The, the original WWE films.
Yeah. I'm of the person that's of the opinion that I believe The Rock was a better actor in the beginning. I feel like he found a thing that made him good in movies and stuck with it. I felt that he experimented more when he was first an actor. Because that's where like Gridiron Gang, Faster, a movie where he was a hitman that like barely talked and always had to emote. There, he did some very different stuff. Like now he just did that boxing movie. Like now that was something very different. But in my opinion, he was in a rut for quite a long time where he was doing a character that sometimes had a superhero suit on, that sometimes had a business suit on, that sometimes had a this. In my opinion, he tried a lot harder when he was first starting.
I hear what you just said. And I don't necessarily disagree.
You just don't fully agree.
Well, because also remember a lot of stuff when he was first started was The Scorpion King,
Yeah.
The Rundown, Doom.
Yeah.
He was still doing a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff too. I remember, and I can't even remember the movie off the top of my head. But I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, thank God. It's he he plays a gay dude in it.
Oh,
Fuck, what is it called?
Get Smart.
No, not Get Smart.
No, Be Cool.
That's it.
Be Cool. Yeah. Yep. Be Cool.
And I remember kind of seeing that, and I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Like, not like it's still like kind of him doing a character, but I like he was doing just all these action movies. And I remember kind of saying, like, this is great because if you watched wrestling, The Rock's a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember saying the same thing about Cena, like he was just in all the 12 rounds and the Marine and all this other, action hero stuff. And I remember kind of thinking, like, anybody who watches wrestling knows that John Cena's funny or can be funny.
Yeah.
I want to see funny. And then eventually it happened, So I hear what you're saying because now he's in a lot of paint by numbers movies. And there's nothing wrong with that because you
No.
need those paint by numbers movies. You mean I know cinema snobs and
Yeah. And he makes a
anybody,
good amount of money doing them.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know, as much as I don't like Taylor Swift, I get why Taylor Swift makes the music she does.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
know,
100%. Yes.
um, and that's kind of where The Rock's at right now. He is the Taylor Swift of acting right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's just that damn big, and you can have all these people go, "That's not good music." That's soulless pop music. That's a soulless action movie. This, that, and the other. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. That's.
there's obviously clearly there's a huge fan base that are going to say like, I enjoyed The Rock's movies.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I even didn't really hate Black Adam as much as I feel you're supposed to.
I
I didn't
didn't.
think it was great, but I didn't think it was worthy of all the vitriol that it got.
No, it's just one of those things that there was enough things involved. That movie got announced when I was in high school.
Yeah,
2007, that movie got announced. And it came out like 3 years ago.
yeah.
So, like, and there is issues with that movie. Not all of it's bad. I will say that there's certain points that where it's like, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is unbelievably great casting. But my biggest problem with that movie, and I cannot believe that there was not one person that went, "Why are we doing this?" They put a giant crux of that entire movie about Dr. Fate sacrificing himself to save someone who reincarnates. I'm sitting in the theater going, "Why are you sacrificing your life? Let him die! He comes back!" What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And why that movie gets a lot more hate and what it is, and it is something that soured me on The Rock a bit as well because of how he was up his own ass, clean up to his ankles a bit, was, well, you see, the DC movies aren't doing that good because I'm not going to be the main character, and I'm gonna be one of the heads there. No, I won't show up in Shazam movies because that's above me. I know that I'm a main Shazam character, but that's I don't need to be in that stuff. The power of the DC universe is gonna change with me. And that was also around the same time where he went to WWE and went, it would be a lot better if I injected myself into this story.
It'd be a
And
lot
with
better if Cody didn't finish his story, but I
yeah,
did.
it'd be a lot better if, like, no, Cody, we'll change you for later. Like, all of that was happening at one time, and then they switched it, like, obviously, because people were like, "Fuck you, Rock," and then it went back to being good because The Rock was just a villain and Cody and Roman were still the thing. And then Black Adam came out, and everyone went at Black Adam with the idea of, "We fucking hate
Black
you
Adam
right now,
came out
Rock."
before that.
Or, like, he was
Yeah.
coming around with that
Black Adam
area.
kind of got its sort of stuff, and then The Rock came in and did all that, and it's just kind of like,
Oh,
okay, well now you've
I know what
yeah.
I screwed up. Red 1 was the one that got the consequences of that. Red 1 came out right around that time. That Christmas movie that he did. That's what I was thinking of.
And I didn't even have a problem like it because it was what it was.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Christmas movie.
Yes. It's just
Like
that everyone's attitude around him didn't
yeah.
help it.
Like it's a fucking Christmas movie. It's about look, I'm not going to say, like, especially when it comes to comic movies, I haven't had I didn't like that because it strayed away from this thing from the comics. I didn't like that because this could have been, I'm not going to say I've never done that,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some times where you just got to go, here it is. It's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, Red One was just kind of like one of those, like, it's a fucking Christmas movie, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking Christmas movie. You don't have to, don't watch it. You don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be your cup of tea. It's a fucking Christmas movie for kids to go, The Rock and Captain America looking for Santa?
Mm,
That's it. That's it.
yeah.
Not everything not everything has to be 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome, you know, banger. Sometimes you're just supposed to go, had a good time watching some wrestling tonight. Sometimes you just got to go, had a few laughs around Christmas watching a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, it but with The Rock, I think his best work has been on Saturday Night Live. Now it's not a movie, but his best work has been Saturday Night Live. The things that I have enjoyed the most from that man outside of wrestling have been his appearances on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He's got done a lot of good stuff on there. You're not wrong.
The Rock Obama. Um, I love the Superman sketch from his first ever appearance on there.
The Rock Obama was fantastic.
The Rock
I forgot.
Obama.
I forgot about that. That was really good.
Him on the Ladies Man. As the undercover police officer. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So the things that have entertained me the most about Rock has just been SNL. Because despite what we've seen from The Rock the last couple years with him attempting to in one case and then in another case legitimately ruining a storyline, you know, eh.
Yeah.
But those things are just like, that's just he still is able to, at least when he's on SNL, make fun of himself,
Yes.
which
You have to.
you have to.
You
And,
have to.
some people eventually they do it, but there's a lot of hosts that feel weird making fun of themselves when they're, don't come from a comedic, you know, background. Not everybody's as bad about as Steven Seagal was, who like out and out refused to poke fun at himself.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell, like in some of those sketches with the hosts, like they really don't know how they feel about having a laugh at their own expense and anything of that nature. But The Rock, from show one, was ready to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he's spent his entire career making fun of other people in the ring, so it's like you got to know that you've had enough stuff said about you on top of the way that you feel about yourself at certain ways to have a giant bank of things that you can put in the jokes about yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's yeah.
yeah. But my favorite rock, I take that back. My Aim for the Bushes. Favorite rock
Oh
moment
yeah,
ever.
the other guys was really good.
He was only in it for like 10 minutes.
Maybe that
Him and
yeah.
Sam Jackson both.
That's my favorite Will Ferrell movie. I love the other guys so damn much. Hey, if you want you to talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and move your mouth like a puppet.
I don't know if it's my favorite Will Ferrell movie. I know one of his movies is I love it, but it's like the basis for everybody that like talks to me like I am 2 years old, and that's Talladega Nights.
Oh, yeah.
When
I'm
they find
not
out
as
like
high on Talladega Nights as everybody else.
I mean, I thought it was a funny movie, and there's like good references that me as a NASCAR fan, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, there it is. But because of that movie, like anytime I like NASCAR, they're like, hi, do you know what number comes after 4?
Oh, God. Yeah. It was funny. It's just it's not, in my opinion, his best work. But like when you see when people say they like that movie, they love that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I've never met a person outside of me who was kind of like, yeah, it was all right.
Best Will Ferrell movie to me is Elf.
Elf is pretty up there.
Elf, Step Brothers.
Yeah, I loved seeing Will Ferrell attempt to play the straight guy in a
Yeah,
comedy duo. That's just
I sure
very
didn't think about
weird.
that.
It's very weird. And some of the off the wall shit that Wahlberg says to him, he's like, I've heard the sound of your piss hitting the urinal. It sounds feminine. It's just some of the, he's like,
Michael Keaton does so well in that movie too.
oh, what he's just referencing TLC all the time for
But
whatever reason.
I don't follow. I'm just saying.
I don't want no scrubs. You gotta hear it. You can't say no creep without thinking about TLC. Or when he's at
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah, like when he's at the Bath and Body Works, he's like, and also, so we're all aware, we've got a triple murder in Crown Heights. This thing, oh, sorry, that's my other job.
Yeah,
he was so good, man.
Make it. That movie is one of, if not my wife's favorite movie, and I watched a 7 or 8 part documentary on Derek Jeter the other day on ESPN Plus.
You should have shot Aaron. He's a biracial angel.
And I made the joke. I'm like, and that whole thing, there's not one mention of him getting shot. You figure when they talk that much about Jeter's life, they would have brought up him being shot.
You would think
and that
so.
being why they lost the World Series in 2003. But alas, they didn't talk. They did not talk about Jeter getting shot in his documentary series.
Oh, that is the one that I'll forever be so mad because that movie bombed bad, and I was like, oh, I could have
not because of me not going. I bought a ticket to see it in theaters.
No, I saw it 2 times in theaters. I love that movie, but every time I think about it, I'm like, man, I could have watched 4 more of those.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
But still, my favorite part of the whole movie. Because it's just so the timing is so perfect. Because you see that like in so many action movies, like we're gonna do this big badass moment, aim for the bushes. Oh shit! And they just keep falling, and you're like, and then like it kind of looks like they're falling down. They're like not looking like bats, like oh, clunk,
poof,
and you're like,
the timing of when they hit the ground is perfect.
And then there's like, I don't know what they were doing. There was no awning at that building.
Yeah, there's nothing. What were they even aiming for? Or when they're in the beginning when they shoot out his cop light and then Samuel Jackson grabs another one and throws it on top of the car. Or when they launch his car off of like the 2-story Decker bus and he's like, I give you the right to remain silent, but I want to hear you scream.
It's such a great parody of all these dumb action movies. The whole movie is, then there's it exploding as they're walking, like, oh god, that hurt.
Whoever said that doesn't hurt, that was full of bullshit. There's no way they escaped the Death Star. My face is on fire. It burns so bad.
Oh.
When they're in the office and he's like, there's like the cucumber accents the water in a way that, and then also they're at the Lakers game like, shit, he bamboozled us again. Anyone who has not seen The Other Guys, go watch The Other Guys. It's so hilarious. Good. It might be my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I fucking love The Other Guys.
Yeah. And so does Ziggy.
Yes. I'm a peacock captain. You gotta let me fly. A peacock is a flightless bird. What is he talking about? They could fly if they got a running start. You just
well,
I can talk about The Other Guys for an hour.
We can do another Guys episode. We can do a watch along.
Yeah, I would do that happily. I love The Other Guys.
But thank you all for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe, follow me on my social media. Twitter X at athletic_geek89 and Facebook.com/athleticgeek89. And
you can find me everywhere at Organoid0. mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If you are interested in cosplays and convention going and such, my Instagram is at Organoid Zero as well. And I just came back from one of my biggest cons of the year, Twin Cities, so we got some stuff up in there.
And on his Twitch stream, be sure to buy a subscription.
Yes, thank you for that. By the way, that
No
was nice.
problem. No
That
problem.
was awesome.
It's kind of the reaction to not
What's it
not
like? He didn't say anything. You popped in the stream, and I got up. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not used to this stuff. That was funny. That made my day.
no problem.
Yes.
So we
All
will
right.
see you next time.
See ya.